All right, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday morning. Give me a confirmation in the chat that everything is working correctly. There's no lagging and everything's looking good on your end. If you're here for the first time, welcome. My name is Tyler. I'm going to be helping navigate you through the wild world of day trading futures. It's going to be a great day. Consider liking, subscribing, hang around because it's going to be a good time. Put your questions in the chat if you have any, or in the comments if you're watching this after the stream. If you're looking to take your trading to the next level, you can do so by, I'm getting another message that it is not smooth. We'll see. We just declare no issues in Jesus' name. If you're looking to take your trading to the next level, you can do so by using the code DTJ. That's going to give you anywhere from 5% to 30% on your next evaluation account. And it's going to be a good time. So use that code. It will always give you the most updated discounts available. And with that, let's go ahead and open in prayer and let's rock and roll. Father, we just honor you this morning. We just commit ourselves to you and your leadership. Father, thank you for your blessing. I just pray a blessing over everyone here that is a part of the stream, those that are not, and those that will join here soon. Father, may they see increase in everything they say and do. Father, may your name be magnified in the stream today, in your mighty name. And everyone said, amen. Ryan, I slept through yesterday's stream. Made it today. Well, it wasn't very good yesterday, Ryan, so no worries. Hopefully everything is working smoothly on your guys' end. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Maybe I have everything else basically turned off. We'll even turn off the music too. How's everybody doing this morning? Good morning, John, Wilhelm, Ken, all set? Harvey, Lawrence, John, Jason, Wilhelm, Ryan, SJR, Messi, Ken, Wendy, Jackie, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Glad to have you guys. God bless you guys. Tuesday morning. Okay. So, unless I hear otherwise from you guys, I'm going to assume everything is running smoothly. So, we're going to go ahead and get started and do some analysis, some higher time frame hiccups every second. Yeah. Well, I can't do anything about it. I've tried everything multiple times. The only thing I could do is change my internet provider. Yeah, but I'm not even doing anything. Ryan, I'm not even doing anything. And I've been doing this for over a year and have rarely had multiple days of issues. So, let's go ahead and I will go a little bit slower and we'll do our analysis on the higher time frame. We're looking at the daily time frame here. Yesterday was a bullish day. We ended up higher. And we closed above the previous day high, reaching new all-time highs. So now we're going to mark our previous day high and low. Yeah, that's horrible. I don't know what to do, folks. It might have to be a post-watch. I've done everything. Reset everything. We have our previous day high, our previous day low, and our midpoint all marked out. Because we ran yesterday's high, I want to see, as long as we stay above yesterday's midpoint, which is this green line right here, I want to see us continue higher. The other option would be is if we don't hold that level, then I'm looking for the previous day's level or the daily fair value gap to be triggered. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame. We've seen a retracement into the London session. Made a low during London. But we didn't sweep anything here. We didn't sweep yesterday, Ken. So we've ran through this 4-hour fair value gap right here, and we've ran lower. But we still have this swing low right here that we haven't ran yet. I'm not sure if we're going to run it. We've already made our London low. If our London low is in, we may see higher prices, which would be nice. We'll go ahead and mark our low, our London low at 5 a.m. So we made our low at 5 a.m. and our high is about to be ran here shortly. Our London high. Dropping down to the 15-minute chart, you can see where our London highs and lows are currently at. How many of you guys traded the sell-off we had yesterday? I mean, obviously we still closed green, but did anybody trade the 230 sell-off? It wasn't a 3 p.m. reversal, but it did still sell off. All right, so I got our London high, midnight open, opening range gap tagged to 415 from yesterday, and our London low all marked out. As far as any other fair value gaps, on the 15-minute fair value gap, we do have this last 15-minute fair value gap sitting down here that has been untagged. Well, I will continue to live stream Vintage Trader, and I don't plan on stopping, but what we'll have to do is just work through the issues of whatever's going on here. I haven't ever, in over a year, I haven't had 3 consecutive days of issues. No, never. Usually it's something that's going on with Cox. They're fixing something around our area and they shut off our internet for a period of time. But outside of that, nothing. We also have this 15-minute inversion fair value gap sitting right here. That 15-minute inversion fair value gap is at 12:30 p.m. Take a note of that level. I think that's going to be a significant level. Give me a second, folks. I'm going to go and grab my phone. I think I left it in my room. I'll be right back. I do have a Discord channel. Alki, 4 terrible days in this week. It is absolutely horrendous.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
$9.30 didn't quite play out. Just about break even. We ran the London high, which is what I expected that we are going to do, and we are going to see it sell off here, is what I would want it to see. Don't chase this. Don't chase it. We don't know if it's going to be choppy. We don't know if it's going to be smooth. We have a very small opening range gap, and that's mainly why I don't think 930 played out. It says I have a good connection right now. I'm getting a little over 6,500 kilobits per second. Here's the current indicators that I'm using. All right, we have London low sitting right here. We've just tagged London high. Do we run for London low right now? Or is it going to give us a fair value gap entry? Yeah, Octavian, I'm not sure what I can do as of right now. All right, there's our fair value gap entry. We'll wait for the close. I may consider taking this towards London low.
Order submitted.
We'll see if it wants to give me that to London low right there. Small position. This is based off of my 931 pump and dump model. It's about a 60%. And actually, I want to reduce my size because I think I'm a little heavy. Is it still lagging for you guys? It's much better. Great. Good. All right, we're going to wait and see if price wants to run into London low here. From Chile, welcome. We'll do our daily affirmation here shortly. If we hit, let's hit 70 likes and then we'll 70 likes and we'll do our daily affirmation. Watching this inversion to see if we respect that inversion fair value gap. That inversion came from 742 this morning. Oh, I marked that as London low. I see that. Thanks for that. My analysis would be incorrect because I marked an hourly London low, which was ran at 542. Go ahead and ES is making a U-turn. We'll see if it continues to move that direction or not. Seems better, the live stream. Well, thanks for letting me know, Ryan. I am still in this trade, if anybody was wondering. And I closed it. All right. The trade that I took was based off of a trading idea that I've been testing out, which is a pump and dump model. If we get bullish candles right off the gate, and we come into a fair value, the first fair value gap, we want to see it run lower. So we did that, and we did run lower. I ended up closing it because we got a lot of stretch. There's a lot of space here that I just didn't want to have to hold it up higher through. Ended up taking a small profit. But ultimately right now, we want to see how we react to this 15-minute fair value gap. If we bump up to the 15-minute fair value gap or 15-minute time frame, this is what it looks like. This to me looks like a market maker sell model. We swept this high, and now we're selling off. That's what you expect on the sell side of the curve. So we want to see how it reacts to this 15-minute and see, ultimately, would like to see it sweep this low right here. There's our 30-minute sweep of liquidity. Oh, that's an hourly. We have an hourly sweep of liquidity right there. And there's our drop. What we can look for also is a 5-minute entry if you're interested in taking the hourly reversal, which would be right here. We can see if that hourly reversal will show up and present itself. We ran the sell side right here. Yeah, it's not going to go the other way. NQ is too strong to the downside right now. Now that we've ran this low, I would be taking some profit. I didn't hold all the way through that. I wish I would have. Yesterday was a big learning day for me. I started the day off down, and I was down quite a bit. And thankfully, I was determined not to continue to trade, but I was determined to sit in front of the charts and wait for a proper setup, which I did. Ended up taking a couple shorts yesterday and made all the money I was down back plus some. And it was a great learning experience for me on really not pushing through it was pushing through drawdown, but the issue was dealing with my emotions in real time, because in many cases my recommendation for people is when you go on tilt, close the charts. You need to do that because for most of us, we can't handle our emotions, including myself. That's been me for so many years. But for whatever reason, yesterday I was determined to master my emotions. And mastering my emotions meant that if there was no setup, I wasn't going to take a trade even though I was down. But there was a trade. Thankfully, it was a day where trade setups were presented and they were obvious. And I ended up taking those trades and it paid off nicely. I was able to get back to break even. And then once I was at break even, I took an additional trade and was able to get positive. I was up about $700. I was down some $2,000-$3,000 and ended up $700. Not because I wanted to keep trading, which inside me, sure, I could say I wanted to keep trading, but I was determined. I even went into the bathroom. I went to the bathroom. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Tyler, you're going to follow your rules. Tyler, you're not going to go on tilt. Tyler, you're not going to take a trade if you don't see a setup. You're going to wait for a setup. And I did. And after all of that took place, it was very rewarding. Very rewarding to feel that I, in the moment of being in drawdown, didn't allow myself to go on tilt. Were there moments of tilt? Yes, but I pulled myself out. Were there moments where I took stupid trades? Yes, but I got out. And I continued to sit on my hands and wait. I wasn't looking for perfection, but what I was looking for was a willing heart, a willingness on my part to actually follow through on these things. And I did. Can I repeat that in text form? I'm not even sure. Can you rewatch this stream? There's transcripts of this that will show up. Do we got news today? I posted on the Discord. Today's Tuesday. We got 10 a.m. manufacturing index at 10 a.m. Orange folder news, so nothing major. For those that are in the Discord, I just put out a message for all of you. If you're interested to do a some one-on-one coaching for those that are in the Discord, one are in the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. So check that out. I pinned it in the bulletin. You should be able to see that. And if you do see it, like it for me so I know people are seeing it. John, I think it's something. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what it is. We got a lot of low resistance liquidity on ES sitting right here. All that low resistance liquidity. I like that. So I'm looking still for lower prices. ES can come down a long ways. Look at what yesterday looked like. I think this is going to be the high for some time. Temporary all-time highs for however long, I'm not sure. All right, we ran the sell side liquidity and we have London low or previous day low sitting right here. So I'm going to see how we react to previous day low. We're going to be in the 10 a.m. macro. So we have about 10 minutes before price begins to really reveal to us what it wants to do. The 4-hour candle is going to close and the hourly candle is going to close. Yeah, this right here, in my opinion, is a signature of reaching all-time highs and planning on leaving it for a little bit. How long? It could be a week. It could be 2 weeks. It could be a month. It could be a couple of days. But I think this is set for at least a little bit. I would say for the remainder of the week, we don't go no all-time highs. Cool, Ryan. We'll see you. We'll see you in there. Elmo, no, it is only for those inside. One of the things that I'm asking for people is also is part of is specific for those inside of the Discord. So if you're interested in being a part of the Discord, you can be part of it. You can go to DTJ Academy and join the Purpose Driven Trader Academy if you want. All right, there we go. We're running for this previous day low. I think that's where we're headed. So I'm kind of interested in taking a little stab at it. Let's see if it can give me 10 handles here. Did we tap it already? I think we tapped it already. Yeah, we tapped it already. All right, so what we have to do, we got to wait for 10 o'clock. We are in a, I'll call this a buffer zone. We don't know what price wants to do in here. I don't know what it wants to do in here. It could just come down here and to consolidate, but this was our target. That was our target. So we need to figure out and watch what price wants to do. I'm not really interested in looking for longs. I can play a retracement. It would probably be to previous day low. That's probably where I would look at either taking a long to or waiting for it to hit the previous day low and then trading from that. Those are the two options that I'm looking at right now. We have another low of day. No. Let's go back to the daily time frame and look at where our next daily low is. All right, so we are inside the daily fair value gap now. And we have a daily low down here. That is from July 17th. Okay, I'm expecting a retracement here. We are inside the day. This is a huge area. I can't just imagine us just melting through it without a single retracement. That's just insane. Yeah, I mean, if you are outside the United States, you're welcome to be a part of the Purpose Driven Trader Academy. It's not just for those inside the States. It is all in English, though. I do not translate any of the course material. Hey, folks, let's hit 70 likes and we'll do our daily affirmation for today. I'm not interested in taking a retracement trade right here. And if it's just going to go straight up here, I'm not interested in that. I need to see some structure. Something like this. And or if it doesn't give that and just gives us a straight retracement, I'm watching the previous day low. Also, the sell side right here from that level right there. That's that level right there will be an area of interest. So even though we have the previous day low here, it wouldn't surprise me if we push past the daily low into this area here, which is going to be a large bearish order block on a higher time frame. So if we go to the 4 hour, there's that order block there. Series of up close candles. That should be a point of resistance. That's the previous day low there. If we go to even probably the hourly, it'll show up there. It shows up better right here. On the hourly, got a high, low, higher high. We will come and revisit this area. And so that's kind of the area that I'm paying attention to. We have displacement. This is our sign that price wants to move lower. Okay? Now, most people are going to see this and say, I want to get in on this. I'm missing out. And I did take a trade. So I understand that feeling. It's very magnetic. It's very enticing to see all of this happen and want to be a part of it. There are places that you can be a part of it, but I'm not in any of those right now. What we can expect is price to do something like this and come up to the previous day low or that breaker level, which is right here. When that comes up to there, that's my point of interest that I'm paying attention to see if I can get a lower time frame breaker for a move lower. Okay? So what do we have? Higher time frame breaker means pay attention. Down to a lower time frame breaker to take the trade. Higher time frame confirmation for a lower time frame entry. But what does that require you to do? It requires you to wait and not take a trade. Okay, maybe you want to take a scalp trade. Sure, okay, that's fine. But if you're looking for your A++ trades, your AA trades, your AAA type setups, you got to wait for this to happen. That's my opinion. That's my model. The breaker. That's my preferred entry style. $15 minutes selling off, 5 minutes selling off. We finally got a green candle on the 5 minute here, at least in the next 17 seconds. It's also going to be 10 o'clock. So we'll take a look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour candle's closing in 8 seconds. It's going to give us this big displacement candle. What does this mean? This means we can drop down to the 15-minute time frame, which is the correlating time frame for this big move. 15-minute time frame, and we can look for a 15-minute entry. So since we have two fair value gaps, 15-minute here and a potential 15-minute here, we have to wait another 15 minutes for this candle to close. And more than likely, if we're looking for a 15-minute potential entry for a sell-off, it might be at 11 o'clock, noon, or 1 p.m. It's not going to be at 10:15. We're not going to take that 10:15 trade. The 15-minute doesn't move that fast. Next thing we got is we have the hourly closed. Hourly closed right here. Got a nice order block right there. Big displacement. Hourly, the hourly reversal, the fractal time frame, the correlating time frame for that is the 5-minute time frame. So we can drop down to the 5-minute time frame and we can look for a 5-minute fair value gap that price may want to come up to and find resistance to. And then you look at taking that type of entry. So if I'm looking here, I would probably say this 5-minute fair value gap is the one I like. If I was to put a second one on here, this one also looks good too. If it's extremely heavy, then it will only go up to this first fair value gap and leave these two open. I'm hoping that it wants to come back up to these levels because at this point, I want to see price come back to a premium. And premium right now is inside that 5-minute time frame. See that red line that I just dropped right there? I marked the high to the low, and this is the midpoint. So if that's midpoint, I want price to come back up to that level to initiate another sell-off. So what am I trying to tell you guys? I'm trying to communicate to you that just because you might see a sell-off right now doesn't mean you missed the opportunity, but it's actually telling you of a future opportunity. There'll be more opportunities that come. We hit a daily fair value gap, we are going to see some type of retracement. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. We just have to be patient enough and wait for it. Potentially use that as a breaker. Anchored it to the wrong level. 13 more likes, guys, and we'll do our daily affirmation. It's 10:03 right now. The breaker, take a beat. I would look for a change in state of delivery. There's three things we look for. It doesn't matter if it's a long or a short. Do we hit a key level? Do we hit a point of interest? Do we hit an area that has significance based on a higher time frame analysis? The answer in this case is yes. What is it? It's the daily fair value gap, that green box. So, number one is checked. Number two, we need to see we need to see some consolidation, or we need to see price hold at those levels and create a change in state of delivery in the other direction. A change in state of delivery, another way for saying change in state of delivery is a bullish order block. We need to see a bullish order block. Now, I don't want to see it on the 1 minute, the 2 minute, the 3 minute. I want to see it on at least the 5 minute time frame. That's my preference. Have I taken trades without that? Yes, because price moves so quickly, it didn't form that 5 minute change in state of delivery yet. But ideally, we want the 5 minute change in state of delivery. And then what does that give us? It gives us the opportunity to take a breaker entry. So in this case, we have a low, high, lower, low. If we move above that breaker and come back down here, I almost guarantee you that around this level is a 5 minute change in state of delivery that we can look for price to come through or break through. In this case, no, there isn't. So when we have large candles like this, it's much more difficult to use the change in state of delivery as an option. The only way we can use it is if we get that pause, retracement, and a further expansion, and using this last down close candle as our 5 minute change in state of delivery. So if that candle closes above that line, we would have a 5 minute change in state of delivery. That level right there. It's not my preference. So going to a higher time frame like the 2 minute or the 3 minute would work. Here is a 2 minute order block right here that was just created. This actually is a decent long. This is a model from another trader, Lumi Trades. She takes the 2 minute order block entry at 10 a.m., 9 a.m., and 1 p.m. So you can see the displacement lower after 10 a.m. And when it gives you a 2 minute change in state of delivery, you can take this as a long. So this is a potential long right here. Now, because of the sell-off, I'm a little more cautious on wanting to take that, but that would be a legitimate long, setting your level at the low and setting your target at like the swing high for 30 handles. So it'd be a 1-to-1 trade. And it looks like it might play out. I like the consistency of these levels here. That's more than likely going to break that high. At this point, what would I be looking for? If we break this high and come back down to it, and we respect the fair value gap that's going to be created right here, I will look at taking along to the previous day low or the 5-minute fair value gap. So we got a 5-minute fair value gap sitting here. We have that hourly breaker sitting right here. We'll mark that as a breaker. We have our 50% of the range sitting here, and we have previous day low. So we got some potential areas that we could reach for. I have not personally back tested the 2-minute model, which is a strategy Lumi Trades talks about. So I can't do the validity of it. I plan on back testing it myself and seeing if it's something I want to include as a strategy. But I haven't done that yet. I'm going to probably look at taking this trade right here. If we can get in here, it'll be a 15 handle stop loss. It's going to be a smaller stop loss. It didn't give us a fair value gap entry though. So patience is everything. The downside to getting in right here is what happens if it retraces. You're now in drawdown, potentially 24 handles. Four more likes and we'll do our daily affirmation. The fair value gap is not the fair value gap is a point of interest. Fair value gap entry is based on the model that I'm trading. In this case, I'm looking at the breaker. If we come back down to this fair value gap because of the time, we're probably going to be outside of the 10 a.m. macro, meaning if it's going to come back down here, I'm going to wait for an inversion to go back the other direction. I'm not going to take it on the initial stab because I don't know if it wants to consolidate down here or if it wants to continue moving higher. So if it drops down into here, how do I know it's going to stop? I don't. We're outside of the macro time, so I'm not convinced that it wants to continue pumping higher. If it comes down here, I need to wait for the inversion to go long. I'm not ready to take that entry and assume we're going to keep moving higher. We're outside of the macro time, which we could just be going like this until 11 o'clock. That's the biggest. if there's something that I've noticed and I'm trying to improve on, is understanding that the cycles of the market, you have much higher probability of expansions taking place inside the macro period or beginning in the macro period. Maybe this did begin in the macro period here. The question is, does it want to continue, or is it going to wait till 11? All right, folks, we got enough for our daily affirmation. It looks like we're not dropping in here. I'm not going to chase this at all because I think we're probably going to stick around here for a little bit. So while we wait, or while I wait, I don't care what you guys do. Let's, hang on. I need to get out of that. Let's do our daily affirmation. This is for July 22nd. This is based on Mark 9:23. Mark 9:23. Everything is possible for one who believes, even when the odds are stacked. I don't back down. I believe. And that makes the impossible possible. Nothing is impossible for those who believe. Now, does that mean you're going to walk on water? No, probably not. But if you believe that this is the assignment, part of your assignment from the Lord, whether it's the way of providing for your family or using these funds, the Lord is teaching you to walk by faith and not by sight in this area, it will not be impossible for you. You will achieve it. And having that mindset is essential. You must believe, period, that all things are possible. If you don't, you won't. So if you guys are on X, go ahead and like that post for me. I would appreciate it. I don't know. Is it frozen? The good news is we're not doing anything, so. I don't even know. What did the 2-minute breaker look like? Yeah. 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 Anything that looks like it's going to go lower, I'm not interested in it unless we get like way down here. I'm not interested in any aggression to the downside right now. Why? Because I'm looking at higher time frame confluences that I really want to see hit. Let me show you an example. I think I deleted most of them. I wanted to go higher here. I went short at this breaker yesterday. It was one of my trades that I took that got me back into profit. And why, even though we swept this low right here, why did I still want to go short? Because the 5-minute and the 15-minute fair value gaps had yet to be tagged yet. So if we went to the 15-minute time frame on that chart, look at this 15-minute fair value gap. Here's the 15-minute right here. Okay, there's two examples of this from yesterday. I'm going to show you the second one here as well. 15-minute there, and then the 5-minute. I'm going to show you this. Okay, so when I went to take this breaker short yesterday, I got in right here. And I had to wait through all of this. And it even swept this low, yet I didn't sell. And the main reason I didn't sell is because this 15-minute fair value gap and 5-minute fair value gap had yet to be tagged. So when I'm talking about higher time frame confluences, it's so important that you understand that. We hit the 15-minute. Did it go the other way? No. It continued until it reached the 5-minute. And then it moved the other direction. So then we have the same thing. Why did I went short again right around here. It was somewhere around there. Yet we swept this low right here. Why didn't I do that? Because the 15-minute fair value gap had yet to be tagged. If it was going to go higher, I'm looking at hitting a 15-minute time frame or fair value gap before it continues the other direction, or an hourly. 15-minute, 30-minute, hourly, all of those. So you have to consider the higher time frame in your analysis for that. So if it's going to run lower, I want to see a 5-minute or a 15-minute to be tagged. Now, did we tag a 15-minute? Yes, right here. We did. Could it run lower right now? Yes. Am I going to take it? No. Because I know price does not do this. Price does not do this right here. Very rarely does it do it. So I'm not going to look at this as a continuation lower since we were already in the daily time frame. Higher time frame, daily fair value gap right there. That's significant. So anything that's presenting as a lower move, I'm taking with skepticism, and I need to see so much confirmation. Me having two bearish candles, one green candle, and another potential move lower, that's not enough confirmation. I'm still looking for a long. In this case, I would want it to reach deeper into this 15-minute fair value gap, which overlaps with this 5-minute fair value gap here in the blue. Okay? Also, it overlaps with this 15-minute inversion fair value gap that we have right here. This is where I ideally want to see price come to. If I'm going to take a short, this is where I will feel comfortable engaging price to the downside. Until then, I'll continue to look for a long here and see price find support at this breaker, ideally dipping into this fair value gap, and then taking a long. That's where I'll engage price. More than likely, I'm going to wait till around this time right here, which is around 10:45. So we have a little bit of time before that comes up. Ryan, that's the main reason why I don't do options. Here's what I would say. The value of not reduce of your theta risk removing that risk is more valuable than the benefit of higher profits on options. The reward on futures compared to options is so minimal compared to the risk you receive using options and you don't have on futures. That is why I chose futures. So we did not reach down to the breaker, nor did we reach this fair value gap. We did have a minor sweep of liquidity right there. So if we get an inversion to the upside right here, am I going to be interested in it? Personally, no. It's not the right time. It's close to 10:30 and I don't like 10:30 trades. I've taken them before, but I'm not a fan of them. Marcelo, yeah, I can't do anything about it. I've tried everything. I will probably take a small I'll take a small position here, a starter position. In case it fails, I'll be stopped. I'll lose $40. But if it doesn't fail, I'll get a phenomenal entry for a continuation higher. For 50, potential 50 handle move. Look at that 4-minute fair value this way. It's not always guaranteed that way, but that's how I look at it. Yeah, John, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. So it looks like price is choosing to expand first. So if this is the case, from a 30-minute perspective, if we hit this high in the next 30 minutes, we could potentially take a short, right? Accumulation or accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So my initial, I should have taken my entry right here, and that would have played out nicely for 50 handles. If I would have taken that small entry right here, I would have made 50 handles on that move already. I just wanted something that it wasn't willing to give me. No, Walter, I didn't. I wanted one more push. I wanted a second push into there, and it didn't give it to me. Do you guys see the breaker that most ICT traders would have taken? This right here. They would have went short right here. And what does it do aggressively? Runs against it. You cannot just be a pattern trader. The breaker, it's a beautiful breaker right here. But why didn't I take it? I've talked about it multiple times. I didn't take it because we have a higher time frame points of interest here. Way to go, Jargus. There's such bad connection, folks. I mean, I can't even take a trade. My charts are going in and out. All right, so we're hitting the 5-minute time frame, that breaker, and we're really close to the 50% level of that move. So irritating, this internet. Cox is saying that there is an issue and it will be repaired by 10:52 a.m. Central Standard Time, so that's in an hour and a half. This is why I want to leave them so bad. They're so inconsistent. Ken, they just installed fiber about a month ago, and the only option for fiber companies is a company I won't go with right now. So, I'm waiting for the rest of the fiber companies to basically show up, and then I'm switching. But there's only one fiber company, and it's like Metro something, and they have a bunch of fees. It's more expensive than the other guys, and I'm not going to take them. And they lock you in for a long contract, so if I do that, I'm stuck there for longer than I probably want to be. You're going to hold a runner for all-time highs. I wish I took the trade that I was outlining for you guys. I didn't because I wanted one more push lower, and then I was going to take that trade. Sometimes it's just better to take your trade on the first analysis. And if I'm honest with you, I've been doing that the past 3 weeks, and it's worked well for me. I'm just not sure why I did it here. It hit the level I wanted. I talked about it multiple times, yet I was like, all right, let's wait for one more push. And I didn't, and it ran 50 handles without me. Actually, it ran more than that. If I would have taken that entry right there, 66 handles to the breaker. Now, do you see how it's reacting to the breaker that we outlined before? Guys, I'm telling you, man, you learn to read price like I'm teaching you here, you will be so far ahead of everybody else. Yeah, Comcast is not in my location for fiber yet. Literally, the only option in my area till recently was Cox that had any reliability or any sort of speed. So I'm so ready to get rid of them. ES has hit its levels. Here I would be interested in taking a short. I don't know if it's going to run this low, but we can do a scalp trade for sure. I mean, I think some of the traders here have mentioned, I think there's a legitimate case to think that we just grind all the way back up the rest of the day. It wouldn't surprise me. So if we're going to take a short, I need to, like, what I'm trying to say is I would not be taking a short here and try to hold it through this fair value gap right here. That to me would be a mistake. I'll take a short to this fair value gap if it presents itself, but more than likely I would expect this fair value gap to hold because it's a large fair value gap and it's the last one in this price leg. If it closes above this candle, I might do a small little scalp. There it is right there. It's right at the breaker. Let's see if it wants to go to this level right here. We're right inside this breaker. I'm wanting to see if it wants to go deeper and reach up to this 15-minute fair value gap. I'll put this on the screen so you guys can see here. Playing this trade as a continuation, retracement, continuation. Want to see it find support right here to continue a little bit higher. We're really close to equilibrium right here. So once we hit that level, I'm probably going to take some size off or move my stop to break even. It's not going like I wanted. I'm going to reduce some size there. Oh, what is that? That would be 3. Octavian, yeah, I'm going along right around that breaker. We're just going to go for 10 handles. See if we can get our 10 handles here. It did wick higher. It did not grab the tag 50%. Make sure I got my 50% level tag to the right levels. Okay, I'm good there. I wanted it. It reached higher, but it didn't hit the level I wanted. So if I get stopped out, I'll get stopped out. That's fine. No, doesn't mean that. But I'm looking before that retracement. I mean, I might get stopped out here. But I'm looking for it to come up to that 50% and reach to the 15-minute fair value gap. And it doesn't look like it's going to give it to me. Yeah, I'm stopped out right there. Will it run without tagging this 15-minute? It's not going to run all the way up here, but it can absolutely run to this 15-minute and then drop back down to this 5-minute and then continue higher. I just take note that it stopped me out and it's probably going to reach what I wanted it to do. It still respected that fair value gap that I mentioned, that I marked out here. But I'm going to respect the stop out and not jump back in. Here's the tag of the 5-minute fair value gap. Order block. ES is, I'm removing this here. ES is right by its breaker as well. I'm just not convinced we want to go lower yet. That's the truth. I know what I said earlier, that I wanted to see it retrace up to here. I'm just not sure it wants to. I will go short if we close below this fair value gap there. I would honestly consider taking another long. But probably not a wise decision. Technically, based on what I'm seeing here, we have another short. I could take that to this level here and see if it gives it to me. The concern that I have is that we did hit a daily fair value gap. And there also is a 15-minute fair value gap. There's more in this 5-minute fair value gap that we could reach for as well. You know what? I'm going to take a short, and this will be my, if this is a loss, then I will probably end the day. Looking for it to go to 187. If we can reach for 187, that would be nice. Why do I say that this will be my last trade? Because if I'm reading the market wrong after 2 missed trades, then I'm not going to force my hand. We hit a higher time frame breaker, hit the 5-minute. The 60-minute reached a higher time frame low. We'll see if we can get just a little bit deeper retracement. That's kind of the idea. My internet tilted me. No, but it looks like I'm wrong. Yep. We are logging out. We're going to be done. You guys are seeing firsthand when mistakes are made, you just have to log yourself out. So, I'm done. I won't be taking any more trades today. At least that's the plan. That's hard. Why is it hard? Because when I see something I like, I want to take it. The trade that I took earlier, what was it? Did I take a trade earlier? I know I took a trade. Yeah, I know I took a trade. What did I take? Oh, well, we went long right here. I went long based on the retracement here. Created an order block. Wanted to see it reach up into this level right here. At this point, we should see this push up into this 15-minute based on that rejection of that level. So the mistake I avoided here, I didn't avoid here. I gave myself permission because we hit a higher time frame breaker. We hit and filled the 30-minute fair value gap right here. The hourly will be closing here shortly. And we're inside the 15-minute fair value gap right now. So I gave myself permission for a small short on that based on the confluences. It says it's not ready for it. So either we come up to this inversion or we're going to be reaching all the way up here into this area here. Lyrics, and you're in a trade now. I'm long. I'm full ported, everybody. Oh no, I'm not in a trade. Yeah, lyrics. You're caught up. I took 2 losses. I'm done for the day. We're in one of them. The second one was the equilibrium of the price range. The next is going to be this 15-minute inversion fair value gap. That would probably be the last point of interest, unless you think we're just going to continue doing this all the way up, which is a possibility. And if that's the case, I would be looking for the previous day equilibrium, which is right here. I don't even know what that is, John. I was whistling a song from Jesus Image. Behold the Lamb of God. Behold the Lamb of God. Did we sweep the high? See how we made equal highs right there on the hourly? I would expect price to come back to that level. This is a fake run lower, or is how I would view it. I don't think it's that choppy. It's actually pretty decent. I just had a wrong analysis. Let me show you what choppy looks like. Okay. This is choppy. That's choppy. That's choppy. This is not choppy. This is questionable. This would have been choppy, not choppy. But look at the time. This started dropping at 11:16, 11:15. Made us low at 1137. Completed at 1156. If it gives an inversion right here, this would be a decent. That would not be a bad. It's a B plus long, but it's based on the idea that we hit a fair value gap, and we have unfinished business up here. Gotcha, Ken. No, we just got done with a big move. I mean, guys, you can't consider this like choppy. What it is, it's in between its next big move. This is a retrace. This is obviously straight down. You really can't trade this either. So the play that I outlined played out perfectly for 50 points. So I don't know how you can call that choppy. After it hit a key level, a breaker, it then does a retracement. It hits another key level, 50% of the leg, does another retracement. Like, I don't see that as choppy. I see that as how price moves. Right? So what did I say? B plus, if it closes above this, we're probably going to reach for unfinished business up here. What's the unfinished business? It's the hourly, the equal highs on the hourly time frame. Right there. It needs to make that choppy. It won't leave it like that. Very rarely does price leave that. Way to go, Daniel. I agree with that. Well, the 1 hour fair value gap was created. SJR, that's why. We're going to reach into that. So that's why I said this inversion, even though it's a B plus, probably will work out because we have unfinished business right here. Now, when I see an inversion fair value gap violated, like the one I'm showing you, that we want to see it hit its high, if it becomes violated, that's when I consider chop. Chop is not back and forth price action. Chop is when our PD arrays aren't respected. Okay? I'll say that again. Choppy is when price is disrespecting our PD arrays and the order flow that price typically has. When price is moving and gyrating up and down, if it's respecting our PD arrays, our inversions, our fair value gaps, I don't call that choppy. That's how price moves. And so when you can identify the difference between choppy and PD array violations, or PD array violations, and when PD arrays are being respected, that's when you start seeing the difference in choppy markets. Choppy markets are still tradable if the PD arrays are not being violated. So we didn't hit a high, and here's our fair value gap. So if we close below this, I would say we're starting to enter a different phase in price, a phase called consolidation. more times than not, price will disrespect PD arrays when in consolidation. Has this been violated yet? The answer is no. So I want to see if it wants to reach up to that level. So far, price is still respecting our PD arrays. It respected this PD array, this fair value gap. Ran and hit the highs, came back, retested it. And now we're going to see if it's going to push higher or not. If it doesn't, that says, all right, it's time to sit out for a little bit. Let's keep it clean here, folks. BC, I think we will not hit all-time highs today. I don't think so. We had a decent sell-off yesterday towards the end of day. The day we saw yesterday around 2:30, I've seen before, and when it does that, it tends to move away from price for a little bit. Whether it's a day, a week, 2 weeks, a month, I'm not sure. But it doesn't surprise me of this sell-off right here. And we are now in a daily fair value gap. So I would expect price to kind of hang out around here for a little bit. OPR, do you mean, I don't know what OPR is. All right, so now this is what I would call choppy. Look at how the candles are overlapping each other, disrespecting PD arrays. And now what we're looking for is it just disrespecting discount PD arrays, or is it also disrespecting premium PD arrays? If it's only disrespecting discount PD arrays, that means price is moving lower. If it's disrespecting both premium and discount, it's consolidation and it's choppy. Opening range price. That's ORG. So I think you might have misspelled that. It's pretty easy if you just mark out regular trading hours. You'll see it right here. There's the yellow box. This candle is 414, ends at 415. So you put it at the last candle of yesterday to the opening price of today, which is 930. And that's how you come up with the opening range. Justin, I will be. I honestly have been waiting for people to actually do it. We'll add a second week of homework here. So at this point, I'm expecting consolidation probably for the next hour or two. Folks, I think I'm going to call it a day here. It's been about 2 hours. We are in the 11. We just finished the 11 a.m. macro. I'm expecting price to consolidate. And it makes sense to do some other things. Maybe check the market at noon and 1 o'clock. See if the market is going to adjust at all. But even any drops, I'm probably not going to be interested in right now. This is where we make our biggest mistakes, is when it's consolidating and we aren't patient enough to wait for price to leave consolidation. So, folks, I'll be back here tomorrow. If you're interested in joining the Purpose Driven Trader Academy, you can do so by going to dtjacademy.com. We'll be doing some one-on-one for those in the Discord. Go ahead, find that link and sign up. Find the link, read what we're doing, what the focus is going to be on. Also, you can use the code DTJ to get anywhere from 30 to 80% off your next evaluation account. Apex is currently in an 80% off evaluation offer. It has about 2 hours or 2 days and 12 hours left before that sale ends. So take a look at that. With that, guys, God bless. Stay safe, good trading, and we will see you all tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.